Good afternoon. Season 10, Division 4 of Gman of ReBBL. I am Bernie Buffon, and I will be your host for the next 4 weeks of the regular season, where we'll go through the highs and lows of each week and talk about the talking points, what are interesting, like, for instance, Chuck Norris holding together his team all by himself. To help me in the in this week, I have none other than the Rat King himself, Crystal Hunter. Now, evening, buddy. Thank you for coming on to help me. I'm sure.
Yeah,
it's
hello,
be,
Division 4. Thanks for having me here, Bernie.
Absolutely. I'm sure they're delighted that we're going to be announcing the next 4 weeks. I'm sure they'll love us. On the serious side, though, obviously, we've been thrown in the deep end. This is our first season in ReBBL. Crystal Hunter will know more about PC coaches and their skill levels than I will, because I'm obviously a console peasant, so you'll have to not hold that against me too much. So hey, let's get on with it and see what we can do. So I've sort of kind of had a look at the teams and everything like that. But let's start off with last week's results. Starting off with All Rats Must Die versus Firestars.
Yeah, it's an big loss for the All Rats Must Die team, because they really needed to get the points for the playoffs, so to speak, to get into the second place. This is huge. They have to really step up their game for the next few weeks and hope one of the basically Jimmy and the other coaches lose some points there.
Yeah, Jameer Rick, I think, is... that's another thing I'll do. I will murder your names as well if they're all really cool. Jameer Rick, I think, is called the Lizard Blizzard coach. The Lizards are going well.
Yeah. Well, I did see something about the Lizards already being in a solid position. So it's basically mostly Jimmy that is rivaling versus those Reds. It's going to be quite important for them to get the wins in now. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking, obviously they lost 2-1, but I mean, obviously the Firestars, they actually threw 35 blocks and they injured 6 players and knocked out another 2. So I'm guessing it was one of those games where the Rats just didn't have much left on the pitch. But yeah, it's a big blow for them, because obviously, like you said, you know, they're trying to push for a playoff spot, and you know, that has really hurt them.
Well, with the amount of blocks you see 35 blocks and 6 injuries indeed. It's been a massive slaughterhouse there. You can't really do much about that as a Red coach. So I hope he's a bit more lucky in the next round.
Yeah. I mean, Firestars. I mean, I think it's probably asking too much for them to qualify for the playoffs. But it's always good to get a win, especially against a good team as well. So I'm sure he'll be delighted with that. The second game is the only one we haven't seen yet, and that's Chuck Norris versus. Is it just this is where we start murdering names? Do Choffs or something? How would you pronounce that? How would you pronounce that, Crystal? The Choff name.
Those two shorts?
Choffs? That sounds very Japanese. Choffs? Yeah. Against Chuck Norris. Well, I'm going to call him Chuck Norris from now, because let's be honest, it's not Hollywood martial law anymore. Yeah, but it's Chuck Norris.
This is why Chuck Norris is going to win 3-0. You know that already. Like, it's not going to be a problem to win against those two shorts.
Personally, I think the Choffs are playing it smart and not turning up. I mean, who would want to take on Chuck Norris? I mean, you know.
I mean, you can see it already happening, you know. They get into the last match day, you know, and then you see Chuck Norris illegally scoring like 20 points and getting into the playoffs by his own. It's gonna happen. So Jimmy's fantastic, and the Lizard coach, you better watch out for your spot, because he's coming.
Absolutely. And the thing is, who would disagree with Chuck Norris? You'd have to be insane. So yeah, I mean, we can't really say much about that game. Obviously, looking on the leaderboard between them two. It's more to do with a bit of pride really than anything else, as they're both quite far down there. So, but yeah, it'd be good to see Chuck Norris take on obviously the Choffs. The next game, the Ratskin Cracker Wreckers, what a name that is, against MAD Commando or Mad Commando. I tuned into the last 2 turns of that game, and I just had enough time to see the Nagel double 1 GFI in the end zone on turn 16, and then just to rub a bit of salt into that, the crowd threw the ball back to the Nagel and it caught it. So it's like, I've still got the ball, I could score, but we've run out of time. So that was a gut-wrenching defeat for Mad Commando, 2-1,
Yeah,
and
that's really painful. But if you look at the statistics of that game, and if you compare it with the other game, with the
Red game.
with the Red game versus the Chaos, you see a lot more blocks being made from the Nurgle team, and a lot less injuries and a bit more of KOs. So you can already see, like, if they are getting more KOs, but they can come back and they can threaten with being annoying and being able to score stuff.
What I saw this morning, there's still quite a lot of rats on the pitch, and he like I said, he did well to get himself in there. I think the Ratskin Crackerrackers, I love that name, I'll be saying that a lot. They sort of said, you know what, we're going to try and stop it, but if we can't, we'll give you the 2-2, and then we'll try and do a 1-turner. But
with the amount of blocks given away by the Reds, this is the kind of game you want as a Skaven coach. You kind of want a game where you take some KOs, of course, but not injuries, and make sure they come back and they can stay in there and be threatening, and make sure you can make the 2-1 or the minor difference that makes it enough to win the game.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing for the Crackerrackers as well was they got a lot of XP out of that as well. Unfortunately, the star player Glad got 2 of it, but they're still earning the 14 XP and 13 XP for the Mad Commando. So both of them, got a bit of development there. So that's going to help them. And again, looking down at the leaderboard where they are now, again, to me personally, it's all about developing your team for next season. Try and build as best you can, and then if you're going to go into the transfer market, then try and save some cash.
Of course. Well, Metal says that, and all the other guys say that when they do their recaps, so to speak. But even if you're in a bad position, like me and you, we are also like fresh in the ReBBL League, and you kind of still want to win your games. Of course, you kind of there is that pride, of course, of winning that game and moving forward. And even if they're not getting in the playoffs, I don't know if Metal puts them in a different position if they're higher in the league. So there's always that to count in as well. So there's plenty of reasons to not just develop the players, but also win the games, and that's what he's doing. So that's a good signal,
Yeah. I mean, and that's it, isn't it? It's like I was talking to one of the ReBBL guys, and we was talking about the playoffs, and obviously we're fighting in Division 10F, and I was saying it's like, if you're smart, you don't really want to go to the playoffs with a brand new team, because if you run into one of the big monsters, they could just destroy your team. But it's just a pride, isn't it? It's a competitive nature. You want to be up there. If you can take the title or whatever, or get to the playoffs, you want that recognition, I guess. But
it's the thing, like they say, it's a smart thing to develop first, and everyone is talking about that. But if you get into that playoffs, if you get really far in the playoffs, or even win that playoffs, you will be remembered by the other coaches.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing, isn't it? You kind of get into those leagues to get into those memorable games, get into those really close games where you have fun, enjoy yourself, and make sure others remember you.
Yeah, I mean, and that's it. I mean, it's good competing against the best, isn't it? And obviously, getting to the playoffs, you get to do that. And I suppose it's just a sense of achievement, if you can make the playoffs, isn't it? And if the worst case happens and you get destroyed, then so be it. Just start again for us anyway, because we're only a season old. So
that's the advice I would give to any coach, like any new coach or any coach that's been here longer. Just people are talking about development and that kind of thing. Just fuck it. Just go for the results. Just go for it. Just fight. Come on. That's what makes it fun.
It's like I'm the engineer, the devil. I'm saying, oh, you know what? Just be careful. Look after your team. And you're like, fuck the team. Spoke like a true rat. I must admit. It's alright for you. For a few games and you get your skills back. Us bash teams go with takes an age to get the skills. I mean, I've been trying to get skills all season, and we just ain't having it.
You know what you know what to say. There's always the fucking restart button. So just go for that. If you really get your team destroyed, it doesn't matter. Just go for it.
Oh man! Right, well, let's go on to the next game. Whiskey Galore, another Chaos team, versus Tall Dwarfs with no AV. What is a Norse team? And the Norse bagged the win 1-0, and they made 17 armor breaks to the 13 from the Chaos. So they outbashed the Chaos, and I see that a lot. With Norse, Norse can really be nasty. 49 blocks played, 36, but again, a lot more KOs, wasn't there? There was 7 KOs, 1 injury, where the Chaos didn't throw as many blocks, but they did 3 KOs, 2 injuries, and 1 kill. So, you know,
it kind of looked like a situation where the Norse team just snowballed there a little bit. Like they had a few blocks early on, it seemed, and they managed to get some removals, and then they get more blocks because of them having more players on the field than the Chaos team that can't really push forward. So yeah, it's really good if you have that kind of games with Norse, of course, and it can decide these best versus best matchups.
Yeah, I mean, for all the carnage there was in that game, there wasn't much SP given out, because obviously they both got their MVPs, but between them, the Chaos only got an extra 4 XP, and the Norse only got an extra 5. So with all that carnage in the score, I'm a bit confused, you know, why it wasn't a bit more, SP. But it's one of those games where there's more knockouts than anything else, I guess. But
well, yeah, if you're the North team, you're already happy with the win. Of course, they all both have the same amount of SPP, but it's good to have that result.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it was a big game for both the teams, because they're both trying to hang in there for that playoff spot. I mean, obviously the Norse are 4th and the Chaos now 5th, so the Norse went above the Chaos. So it was a really big game for them. And because I mean, we'll go into it later on, but I think it's between the top 5 probably what get the 2 spots. But that was a big win for the Norse, and it's good to see the Norse do well. It was a very important win for them, I think, personally.
Absolutely.
Right. Filbo's Fighting Fist. Now, I've been told that they basically have given up, so everyone who plays them gets an admin win. So the Imperishable 4, they'll get the admin win. Right, next one.
That's a shame.
Team Fantastic versus Badland Fairies. Now, when I looked at these teams, the first thing what came to my head was good for you, the Badland Fairies, because although they had a lot of guard, getting a draw against that powerhouse of a team of Jimmy's is no mean feat. And it was like, the Rats drop points. I thought Jimmy might have dropped a couple of points here as well.
If you look at Jimmy's team, we'll get to it later, but it's basically insane,
It's amazing.
Also the matchup between Black Orcs, or the matchup between Orcs versus Chaos, it's like the Chaos have a lot of claw on them normally, so you would expect them to claw through and get that victory out.
Yeah.
But it didn't seem like he was getting the armor breaks.
I mean, to be fair, I mean, if you look at the statistics, Crystal, he got outbashed by the Fairies. I mean, he threw 3 extra blocks, but obviously, Team Fantastic did 3 KOs, 3 injuries, what's, pretty good. But the Orcs did 5 KOs, 3 injuries, and killed something. So it's just funny how it happens like that, because when I look, if we was previewing the game last week, because the Orcs have got all that guard, but the thing is, Jimmy Fantastic's got 7 strength 4 pieces, and he's got a bit of guard as well. So I would have said Jimmy's just going to steamroll him. But the problem with kill teams is if they don't get enough attrition, then they can struggle. And we'll go into it obviously later on, but I was like, good for you, Orc. My favourite team is Orc, so I had a soft spot for him, and I was like, good for you, hanging in there.
Just purely the ratio matchup. If you were the Orc coach here, you would be like, okay, if I see these statistics, I would be very happy about what happened here. And I can imagine that Jimmy would have been very frustrated during the whole match about not getting the armor breaks and that kind of.
Yeah. I mean,
kind of thing. So sometimes you have those kind of dice that go that kind of direction, and it could have also been 1-0 for the Chaos, or maybe a small win for the Orcs, depending on how it goes. But
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, is that we've just took over this division, so we haven't seen any of the games. So next week I'll probably watch a few of these games, so I'll have a better understanding what actually went on. So we can only guess what happened. For all
Yeah,
we know, he could have got diced to, I don't know, to oblivion. We don't know. We can only call what we see here. But obviously, like you said before the match, you would have strongly fancied Jimmy's team to get that done, because everything. I mean, 7 strength 4 pieces, all that claw, no problemo. But obviously, congrats to Powad. He gave as good as he got, and
yeah,
he
very
held him
well
there.
done.
And that's what I say. It seems like a quite competitive division when you've got teams ranked around 7th being able to hold the top teams. And that's basically what you want, don't you? A nice competitive league.
Well, this is what keeps the whole thing alive, you know. Like if you have like a decider after like day 8 or day 9, it's just not going to be fun to recap anymore, you know. This is keeping it interesting.
Yeah.
This whole thing between 4 or 5 teams
Yeah.
going for the playoff spot. So yeah.
And that's what you want, isn't it? And it's always good to see. Victims of the Sun, Cyber Knight. Now, I'm a big fan of this coach. And he's one of the favourite
Yeah.
coaches I actually know in this league. Against the Lizard Blizzards.
I've played Cyber some matches in CCL, and he's always playing really well. He's always playing Bretonians, just like he's doing in this division. And he's just a really good coach. And the Lizard team, even though they're like ranked 1 at the moment, ranked top at the moment, I think they will be pretty glad with the draw, because they're a little bit ahead of the rest, as far as I've seen. And they're actually fighting a coach that can mix with the best, you know.
Yeah,
because like Cyber Knight has been like in playoffs and in CCL playoffs and that kind of thing. So yeah.
Yeah, I've seen him play a lot. I am a big fan of Cyber Knight. I like just the way he plays, and obviously Bretonians with all that Dauntless as well. It was always a decent matchup. The list was always a decent matchup for them, and they outblocked them 46-37 as well. They got 6 knockouts as well. But the Lizard Blizzards, they only got the 1 KO, but they did do 3 injuries. So obviously, that's why you want to see loads of injuries and that always is going to help. But like I said, that's. I bet that was a good game to watch, to be fair, between them two.
And it's always also going to cash in some SPP for the Lizard team for the playoffs, which is for them very likely to reach. So yeah, it's gonna give them a good position in any way possible. This 1-1 is very good for them, and Cyber Knight did pretty well as well, of course, playing the number 1 and getting the draw out.
Exactly. So I mean, like I say, I think if the Lizard Blizzard won that game, then they're almost untouchable. But obviously, it's interesting because if you look at it, the Lizard Blizzard were held to a draw. Jimmy's team was held to a draw, and all Rasmus Die lost. So the top 3, it was a bit of a hard going from this week, wasn't it? It was a bit of a, the big winners was obviously the Norse who came up to 4th, and the 5 Stars trying to hang in there in 6th, and. It was an interesting week looking at the schedule.
Yeah, it's looking at some hard fought battles, and I think the next few weeks are gonna be like that as well. People are gonna get a bit nervous. They know they're forced to win games, and it's gonna ask a lot from them, and we'll see what it brings for the rest of the season.
Yeah, pressure can do funny things for sure.
Yeah, it could make or break a person in a game sometimes.
Yeah, so let's have a look at the teams and let's dissect them. We'll start off with Raskin's Cracker Wreckers. I love that name. Let's have a look. And obviously, you are our rat expert, so I expect you to tell me all what's great about this team compared to me. So I'll throw you quite happily under the bus here. So what do you like about this team? Any good things, bad things? Anything you would do to this team going forward?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind here is they obviously have some MNGs going on, so they have a bit of low team value at the moment. Well, you have one very developed Storm Vermin there and one totally undeveloped Storm Vermin. They're lacking a bit of claw, of course, but it doesn't have to be the worst thing ever.
I mean,
I don't know. It's for me, like, if I look at the whole team in general, the thing I'm most excited about is actually the red that's leveling up, and I'm
yeah.
totally wondering what he's gonna get for that, because like there's so many options to.
What would you take? What would you take if it was your call in this division? What would the Rat King take?
That's a good question. You could get strip ball, you could get dauntless, you could get something like that to get some extra utility going on in the team. You could even go, if you have a double, you could even go for something crazy like pass or something like that, just to make sure that you pick up
Yeah.
the ball and do some insane passing to the other gutters. There's a lot of options going on there. I'm personally, I'm not even sure about what I would take. I would probably just roll that level up roll and see what I get. If he gets another stat up, it would also be perfect, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's something I really want to follow and see what he goes for.
Yeah, I must admit, I mean, because he's got the leaper as well, and he cheese it the leaper, and I'm impressed he's still lived this long if he leaps into cages. But he's beautiful. I like him a lot.
The thing is, yeah, that's the thing. Like the other gutter runner, the cheese it gutter runner, being able to leap on certain areas also means that he has some ball recovery options. So you could actually do a blitz with the sure hands gutter runner if he has strip ball, and you could also pick it up with cheese it. So it's they can work in tandem with each other. You know, if one is in better position to blitz and strip the ball, the other can pick it up. So it's something that that he can really get into his mind to do. And yeah, this team could potentially be quite big with that 5 agility gutter runner.
Yeah, I like them two gut runners, and the other one is obviously he's blodging. He's got guards, well, was good. He's got a decent stone vermin in hardtack. He probably, go on, sorry.
What would you take on the unskilled for Storm Vermin, by the way? Would you go Mighty Blow with him, or would you go guard with him at this point?
I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I would. He's got no cash, but if he had cash, I'd be already thinking of going, ooh, who can a brab or sweet talking to give me a stone bane with Mighty Blow Claw? Because that basically is what I would be looking at. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how the guy plays. I don't know. I would probably wait until I get it and then decide what's left of my team before I decide what to go. But I would probably go Mighty Blow just because I want to bash stuff. And then I've got 2 Stone Bearmen, so they can't just target on one of them.
Yeah, that's the thing I like about Skaven in general. You know, there's a lot of options to go with. I feel like both options are really valid options to have at this point. So yeah, it's something you have to follow with this team to see how he actually develops. There's no real textbook of how he needs to develop from here, and it will be interesting.
Yeah, like I said, I think this has definitely got potential. He's got some really nice rats, and that's it. If you've got a couple of good rats, they're basically, when I've seen it on the consoles anyway, if you have a couple of good rats, they can just lead you all the way to the playoffs, or make you do a lot better than you should. And an Agility 5, a rat, and he's got a level up is beautiful, and like I say, his other gut runner, the leap is brilliant. He's got a solid goldfish gut runner there as well with blodging. I just like the team. He's got a kick. Yeah, I mean the linemen are all a bit battered, but who cares? The slime rat, so no one cares about them.
Yeah, exactly.
So I know by the looks of it, Rye Crisp is obviously Rye Crisp 2, has just got into the team because Spike was killed. So rest in peace, Spike. Someone obviously put the final nail in his coffin. So so good luck to Rye Crisp. Let's hope he doesn't die the same way. So yeah, good team. And I like you. I'm interested to see what happens with that team. And now we come to the team I'm gonna murder the pronunciation. Stuco Chorfs, who we are fighting. We're going to be fighting against Chuck Norris this week, hopefully. So
well, he's gonna be doomed then, and this team is gonna be like 2 players left on the.
There's not going to be much left,
roster.
is there? But
it's not gonna look good.
Even though most of his team's going to be dead by next week, we'll be fair and we'll go through it. Now, the first thing, when I looked at this team when I was doing my studying, as we call it. First thing what my eyes were just drawn to was number 5, Grab on a Parlon Chorf killer. Come on, tell me why you would go grab. Because I was, my mind was blown. It was like, wow. I mean, it didn't help that I'd just seen Chuck Norris be on the team by himself, and then I came to these, and I was like, whoa, grab, interesting. Why? Why would you take grab? Tell me
I
the
don't
good
know.
reason.
Normally, you take grab in a position where you can make it easier to foul something, but with claw and mighty blow or that kind of thing, you kind of just want to get him down after the first block, you know.
Yeah.
It's an interesting pick. I don't know what he's thinking about with getting it. I would have probably gotten Frenzy or something else like that with the amount of guard he has. Because like
Yeah.
you can get an extra block in. But it's interesting. I don't know how he will use it.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking, is it a case of I'm going to kill the play, but if I don't, I'm going to get a push. I'm going to put him into a position where somebody else can kill him, and then if he doesn't kill him or gets him on the floor, then we can foul the living daylights out of him. I mean, I usually see trees get grabbed, obviously positioning for 110ers and that, but I think it's fair to say Chorfs are not really the biggest 110ers in the game at all. So I was just like, oh, that's interesting. Why you take grab? But you know,
Yeah, well, I'm not known for being a bashy coach expert or anything like that. But yeah, for me, like personally, I would have seen Frenzy or even Pro or something like that. Being more relevant here, but maybe he has some line of thought in it that I haven't thought about, and he can use it in a way that will be in his advantage.
well, I hope so, yeah. Because I was like looking, I was like, oh, that's interesting. I've never seen that before, and it always intrigues me when I see stuff like that. 'Cause then I want to follow that piece. I'm thinking, oh, I'm gonna follow and see what he does, or watch the game and see how he uses him. But hopefully, maybe
Well,
Ricky can
normally.
ask us, let us know. He might be able to Discord me and say, Bernie, this is the reason why I took grab, you idiot. And I'll be like, sorry, mate, I'm only console peasant. But yeah, you know. But if the Rat King doesn't know either, then I feel like I'm all right. You know, neither of us do. But it could be something genius what we haven't seen. But hopefully Ricky will let us know.
If he would have put it on one of the 4-strength guard players, I would have been fine with it. You know, that's the whole thing. Like if you put it in a 4-strength guards unit where you want to keep the player attached to, then it makes sense. But in this way, I'm not totally sure. Maybe he was like, okay, I have no idea what to pick anymore for this left weapon. I'm just gonna go with something like grab or anything. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it like I said, Avenger is out, the ball center's out, so he's been the smart guy. He's decided to dodge Chuck Norris, so kudos to that. But obviously,
what do you think?
Go on, sorry.
What do you think? Yeah, sorry. What do you think about the 4 agility hobgoblin? By the way, in this situation,
It was interesting because when I saw it, I thought, oh, agility 4 hobgoblin, he's going to love that. And then I thought, number 13, he's got strength 4 hobgoblin. And the annoying thing is, the agility 4 hobgoblin's better than the strength 4 hobgoblin for a ball carrier, obviously. I don't know. The thing with hobgoblins is they can die, can't they? That's the thing. So I would just build him up. And then you've got 2 options, haven't you? But yeah, I'd be very happy to get agility 4 on a hobgoblin. I hope my Choves get agility up on a hobgoblin because I don't use my bulls to carry the ball.
Like the thing that because stat ups are always like really nice to have, of course, but it's kind of costly with the other hobgoblin being there already having sure hands and actually being the one that picks up the ball because it's I think he's a bit redundant now. Like he's being there and actually not being able to do what he could be doing with his agility up. But we'll see what he picks for his next level up as well.
It's awkward, isn't it? For all we know, he's probably watching this laughing out, going, "I got +1 agility. He's agility fab."
If he rolls a double now and gets dodge, he's like he's gonna be brilliant again. You know, like
what he needs to do with this hobgoblin is get a double and get leap, then wrestle, or wrestle then leap. Jump into them cages. He'll die a brave hobgoblin. I want to see this hobgoblin get leap and just jump into the cages there. I'll have that ball, thanks very much. And he's on the floor, he's getting the crap kicked out of him on the floor, and then the superstar with the strength 4 with his hands will pick the ball, go, cheers for that, mate, and he'll go up and be the hero.
I loved this is the same reaction I have with the gutter runner. I love to see what he'll become.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll just have to wait for the next few rounds and see how he levels up.
Maybe we should just keep whispering to Ricky, get leap. On a double, get leap. And then he'll be like, yes, he'll be going to bed going, mercy guide leap. And then he'll probably leap, fail, and kill himself. And then there'll be somebody else who doesn't like me. I'll just blame you, obviously, But hey, but yeah, it'd be really good to see how he does. I would keep the guy. I would definitely keep the guy. But you know what? The cynic in me, I'm like, please give me double, because he's getting leap, and then he's getting wrestle, and then he's just going to be awesome. I'm going to have this crazy hobgoblin what's going to just run, sprint, jump into the crowd, get the ball loose, and he's going to get a kick in, but who cares? It'll just look awesome.
Oh man, that would be awesome.
That's it. Get leap. That's it. Hashtag, get leap for the hobgoblin bubble. And obviously his bubble will burst eventually, probably get clawed to death, but while he's still there, yes, go with that. But yeah, another nice team. And like I say, he's developing well, and he's actually done quite well considering he's in a group where there's 3 chaos. So yeah, good luck to him.
Yeah, definitely. It's gonna be tough in this division.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if they've already played all the chaos teams, but
no, I don't know. We don't know much, do we? We just was giving it. Bernie, you want to do this? Yeah, yeah, of course I will. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to bring Chris Leno because hey, let's do it together and just ramble through it all. Fight Stars, they'll be feeling pretty good coming into this week. But on the motto, it says rest in peace, strength 6, warrior Braz, and I was feeling really sad for him until I went into the team roster and realised he already had another strength 6 with tentacles and a strength 5 chaos warrior, and I thought, you know what? Nuffle was saying, look, you're taking the mick here a bit, mate.
Drace is an absolute scumbag. If you have a 6 strength and then tentacles, that's just
it's pure filth.
I see that as a Skaven coach, and I just want to cry, in tears. Like that's just horrible.
Yeah, and he hasn't, and he ain't even a beast, so he can't even go stupid either, is it? It's like, go and roll the 1. You don't even get saved for that.
What a beautiful player.
I tell you what, it will be interesting to see what if he obviously lives that long, hopefully he will. But it'll be interesting to see what he'll take on his next level, because because I'm thinking maybe stand firm would be pretty good for him. I think that's probably what I would go.
This is the player where, like, normally you would say in a normal situation I would take guard, but this player with 2 strength ups, I think you gotta take stand firm next, because like you're gonna be such a value to people that wanna dodge away from you, or to players that wanna dodge away from you. It's gonna be such a nightmare to play against.
Yeah,
total nightmare.
And then same with the other one as well. I mean, the other case where the strength 5 one, it's like, oh my god, I was just. Yeah, I would just love to be able to get 2 levels on him. It was going to be hard because obviously his last level's going to be miles away. But stand firm and tentacles on that roadblock, blodge with tentacles and fire would be beautiful as well. But the problem is when you're willing to kill stuff, it ain't going to help because he hasn't got as. That's where guard comes in, doesn't he? I mean, he's got 3 guard. It's not terrible.
He could be a total bastard as well and go like sure hands with the Chaos Warrior with 5 strength and blodge. He wouldn't fit his mighty blow roll anymore, but like still, can you imagine trying to get the ball of a sure hands blodge 5 strength guy? That's just gonna be very annoying to deal with. So yeah. Versus agility based teams, he's gonna be very, very strong. Like no doubt about it. And versus Bashir teams, it might sometimes have problems because he only has 2 claw, but still it's gonna be quite strong.
Yeah, and so, like you said, I mean, obviously his strength 6 tentacles. We don't know how much of effect he had last week because obviously he beat the top rats, didn't he? So obviously that came through well for him. He's got. I mean, the thing is though, he ain't gonna obviously give him the ball. Obviously, he's got number 5. Blodge, agility 4, 2 heads. Thank you very much, Rosano. I just give him the ball and go. Just score. To me, this is the easiest thing to take next. He has to take show hand. Well, he doesn't have to, but the thing I would do is taking show hands. Show hands has got to be the next thing on that number 5.
That is also totally an option to get show hands on. That's even a better option, I guess. It's a well-rounded team. I would be very happy about this team if I were
it's a good team.
coach,
It's a nice team. it's just that I think at the moment, again, well, when we look at Jimmy's team, it is lacking a bit there, but he's still got 2 killers, hasn't he? He hasn't got any power on, but he's got 2 killers, so that's decent enough.
Well, yeah, in a direct matchup versus Jimmy's team, which we'll get into in a moment, it's going to be tough for this team. But versus any other team, he might even get some more advantages depending on how agility based it is, And it's looking quite good for him. I'm interested to see what he does the rest of the season and the next season. I think he'll be in the higher spots definitely for the next season as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's got some really nice development there as well, hasn't he? There's get a few more getting to the next level as well, and like I said, I don't know the coach, so forgive me for that, but it's a nice team. The only thing I would like, and I say this with most of my teams, is having a 12th man, have a bench. I always think if you have a bench, it just helps. But apart from that, I think it's a very nice team, and it's got plenty of.
He doesn't really have. He has the bank for it, but in this position, you kind of want to get to that.
In this position, it doesn't really matter, does it? Because he's not going. The chance of him making the playoffs is very slim. So, like you say, save the money and maybe buy your players. So I totally get that.
Totally.
Yeah, but now then, Whiskey Galore, what a name! Kanuki is a coach, and 2000 TV chaos. Oh, the joy! Oh, wonderful! And wow, what a team this is! There's so much to go through. Something obviously you've spotted something. What you spotted?
Well, the first thing I wanted to ask is, are you glad you aren't in this division at the moment? Because I'm glad I'm not in this division at the moment with that kind of teams. Jesus Christ.
Oh man, our one. Yeah, but at least you can run away. I'm just a little fat chorf to stand there going hit me. So at least you can run away. I can't just stand there take it. But yeah.
That's true.
What fun! I mean, number 5's amazing. Snowball 4. I don't know how good Snowball 1, 2, or 3 was, but number 4 seems to have got it done. Oh, agility 4, strength 4, 2 heads.
He seems to have snowballed with his level ups. That's for sure.
Amazing piece. Beautiful.
What an amazing player. Like, if he gets to that esteemed 176 SPP, and he gets that double and he gets dodge, that's gonna be the dream, isn't it?
Dodge! Leap! Wanna leap! Strength 5, blitz into a cage! I'll have that ball, thank you very much! Oh dear. They'll be like, Bernie, shut up, Bernie, you console peasant. What are you talking about, leap on my best player? But no, I do like leap.
You wanna cherish this snowball. You wanna keep it so you can make a snowman out of it. This is
absolutely.
This is beautiful.
You certainly don't want to get melted going into a cage. But yeah, I mean, I think he's an amazing piece. He's got a apprehensive tail on a beastman. That's always nice to see. Interesting choice. I would definitely if now I've got tail on that, I would definitely go Stan Firm next on that piece because it's got guard as well.
It feels a bit weird, doesn't it? Because like, if you look at Chaos teams in general, the Chaos Warriors are the one that have the 4 strength, and have the access to stand firm and being able to get tentacles easily. You kind of want them to restrain the agility player. So it feels a bit weird having prehensile tail on a beastman there. But it could work out for him.
Yeah, I've seen it before in leagues before, where prehensive tail, in bad because like I say it's -1. I don't know. Does it actually stack with diving tackle? I'm not sure if it does or not. But I mean, it's all right, I guess. It's probably.
I think it does, but like, I'm not sure if I would spend a double on that. I'm not excited about getting something like diving tackle and having him grounded with only 6 movement and then only having 3 movement to move around the next turn. So I don't know. I don't know what he would pick next for him. Maybe something crazy like shadowing is even something he's thinking about.
Could do. If he gets a double.
Tackle could also be an option, of course, to get the Dutch.
That's what I was saying. I was
Real
thinking if you don't go stand firm, you go tackle. Obviously, prehensive tail, before people shout us, yes, it is a single, not a double roll. It is single because it's a mutation. A beastman can have mutations on the single.
Yeah.
But KS,
I wish.
sorry, he's going to say he's got a new KS Warrior as well, so I presume the last one met a stickly end.
Yeah. It's generally it's just quite a team where I'm thinking like it's developed, but compared to the other two teams that we have seen, or the other two teams that we're going, how do I say this? One team that we've seen and the other team that we're gonna see. It looks like the most underdeveloped one, which is kind of weird to say because it's
got
like
2000
a
TV.
2000.
I mean, that I'm glad you said that because I was like looking at it, and I was like, why is this team 2000? Because I obviously we'll see Jim's in a minute, and I don't know how the hell that is 1810. And then obviously the other one we've seen, I'm looking at 2000, like crikey, but then I'm thinking, you know what, you've got to decipher that he's got 2 bench, so that's 120k there, so take that off, all of a sudden it's 1880, then obviously I'm thinking, yeah, okay, I can go with that, but he might be like me. I mean, I'm the same, I always like a bench, so I can't criticise him for that, and obviously he's in a brutal league as well, so he may need to call on them. But it's certainly a decent team, and you know, like I say, he's up there, and he's got some very nice pieces. And
totally. I think it can still do quite some damage in the last few rounds of the season, of course, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Right then, now we come to Hollywood martial law, as we call it, the Chuck Norris. By himself, what a player! He's 3 XP off, and he's got. He's a blodger, he's a tackle, and he's got Mighty Blue. He needs pile on next.
Isn't Chuck Norris max SPP? That's a problem. This is definitely a problem for that team. I mean, like if he's not max XPP, if he's not at max power, how is this team gonna perform? You know,
I don't know. I don't know. It's something obviously he needs to do. I mean, they lost Bruce Lee last week. Bless him. I love Bruce Lee. It's a shame. I don't know how many players he lost to Jimmy's team, but Chuck Norris has said, you know what, I can do this by myself, and I can't wait to see what he does. Obviously, the Chorfs are running scared this week at the moment. I don't know what's going on there. And then obviously when we look at the schedules next week, I'm sure you'll be picking him to win.
Well, for sure he's going to get some inducements, so he can get some minor mercenaries like Morgan Torque, like the weaker ones compared to Chuck.
Yeah.
That's something he can always do, but like it's going to be interesting to see how Chuck performs versus all those teams. If he's going to die, like. Yeah, this team is totally done for. You know that, right?
To be fair, totally... I mean, even when they had a full team, if Chuck Norris had died, the team was done for anyway, wasn't it? The team was Chuck Norris, and he's now proven the team is just Chuck Norris. I hope this guy keeps playing this team this season because I would just love to see this Chuck Norris with all these learners going, come on guys, follow me through. He's even only got 1 team reroll now because that's just how Chuck Norris rolls. So it's going to be fun to see, isn't it?
1 is already too many. Like he should have 0 rerolls. And why does he need the Apo anyway? Like it's
Chuck Norris. It's probably for the learners. He's probably thinking, but then again, they can't even have. Can learners have Apos? They can't they? It's just star players can't have Apos, but maybe the
loners, yeah.
Yeah, maybe he'll feel pity on one of them and let them have the Apo. Maybe that's sort of how nice Chuck Norris is. What a cool guy. So anyway, we go on to the guy who's probably not in a good mood after this morning. MAD Commandos. Oh dear, we only wanted the 1 GFI and rolled double 1 and cost him the draw. Bless him. But such is life.
A game-breaking thing. Yeah.
It is. But what do you think of his team for an Eagle team?
Well, I already see a Beast of Nurgle I have to click on because of the huge amount of skills that it has. Yes. I see he's running Break Tackle on it, which is quite interesting because he can just freely move the Beast of Nurgle around and get him in a better position to lash the tentacles on multiple players. So I kind of like that actually.
Yeah. When I won the Champions Ladder season 18 with Nurgle, I actually had the same skills as that Beast of Nurgle, and I was up for a double, didn't get it. And I got obviously the guard and the stand firm, and then from a third skill, I was like, oh, what do I take? And I thought, I don't want to take break tackle because I'll roll a 1, but I took it. And that was one of the main reasons why I ended up winning the championship, the Champions Ladder. So it is a really good skill, as long as you don't roll a 1.
It's kind of risky, of course, with the really stupid there as well, because you actually have to pass 2 once to get him into the right position and make him do stuff, So yeah, it is an interesting pick, but if you roll those ones or if you roll higher than once, then you're definitely gonna be in a favorable spot with him.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Beast of Nagels are always a pain in the backside. I mean, you're always trying to keep yourself away from it, and sometimes people just throw some crappy play to hold him up. But if you've got break tackle and he can get away from you, then it's a scary thing, isn't it? And obviously, as well, if you really want to be brave, you can cage dive in as well. With your break tackle,
if you feel like being in a crazy mood, you totally can. But I would definitely prefer doing that with a frenzy kind of big guy,
you're supposed to be the crazy rat guy who's supposed to agree with my stupid things like that. You're supposed to say, Bernie, absolutely, that's a great idea. Not, I wouldn't do that.
I have actually +4'd into a cage with a red ogre before. I have done it before. So you're totally right about it. I just would do it with something with frenzy, so you have a second block. So yeah, it is possible, but in this position where he has so many developed players, this piece of Nurgle is going to have a role of capturing all the players around him and make sure the others hurt the players.
Yeah.
So that's a really nice thing to have.
I'll tell you another thing without really putting petrol onto the fire, but I think number 6, who was 3 points off a level up, he was the guy who rolled the double 1 GFI. So if he didn't roll that double 1 GFI, he would have got a level up. So that just adds insult to even more injury.
That's a shame, and that could potentially be something that he could have used during the rest of the matches. A key skill up he could have gotten for his ball carrier. So shame really that happened.
It's unfortunate, isn't it? But I mean, he's got a very nice Pesigo. Obviously, he's got block number 7. That is block, claw, jump up, pile on, mighty blow. That is an amazing piece. So that must cause plenty of carnage.
Definitely.
I'd
Like
love a
this
piece
is
like that.
For me. Like if I look at this Nurgle team, this is basically the base setup of how you build a Nurgle team. It's not too crazy. It's just genuine, and it works. It works. If you have it this far developed, you're gonna give other.
He's done a good job, hasn't he? Developing his team, a really good job. So well done.
Yeah, definitely well done to the coach there, and it's looking good. Would you have changed anything if you look at the build up?
Let's have a look. I quite like what he's done. I mean, it's sort of still in its early development. Obviously, later on, I would try and get myself a bit more guard in there, or maybe some stand firm on the Warriors. Or if I want to be a bit more cheeky, I get some more tentacles in there. But I like the way he's done it. He's obviously got a wrestle tackle piece already for the Pesco. I'd go 2 heads with that next if you don't roll a double and get dodge. I like what he's doing with the team. It's bubbling along really nicely, this team. And I think with a few more skills, this will go to the next level, and that's when he'll be able to compete with the bigger boys.
I think 1 or 2 more guard, and he's going to be quite successful generally.
Yeah, he's certainly got a team where you don't want to play him next season, because this team's well covered and it's nicely balanced. And if you can get a KSO or a Nagel team really balanced, then you're already onto a winner. So well done, Mr. Glordian. Unfortunately, you didn't get that win today, but hey, let's be honest, you can't sack him because he's your best player. Just make sure he goes to bed with no supper. That'll teach him. That'll teach him. Right. Tall Dwarfs with no AV, the Norse, who are doing extremely well, and to me, they were the big winners of the week just gone by, where everybody else is either losing or drawing up top. They were getting it done. Just like the postman, he always delivers. And, let's get that in there. So, Deadman 78, that means he's 40. So he's almost as old as me, so I'm already liking this guy.
I'm
you know.
Definitely feeling like a junior compared to you guys. Like
There
I
you go.
said,
You see, come on with me, and you never need to feel old again. His Yeti's nice. I like his Yeti. Stand firm, block. And you know what I like about kill pieces is when they have stand firm, because the thing if you got stand firm is if they blitz you and they don't get you down, they're like, I either dodge away, what can cause turnover, bang re-rolls, or you're gonna get smacked in the face by a mighty blow claw piece. And I really do love stand firm on killers, and I would think twice about blitzing the Yeti. I'll be honest.
well, yeah, this is like normally in a situation you would be like thinking like, well, if I there are some situations where you think like, well, if I can 2D uphill the big guy, I can shove him away and and I'll be safe. You know? But with this guy already being a huge threat with frenzy and claw and mighty blow, and also having the stem firm, you can't really do that. So you have to dodge away, which is gonna bring some coaches into complicated situations. So if he covers this guy well with some other guard pieces around him, or make sure he doesn't get anything worse than a 1D, he's pretty good to go. You know, like if he gets 1D'd against him, it's not the worst thing ever. He can stay on his feet possibly. Just make sure he doesn't get too diced, because if that happens, he might lose him, and that's going to be a huge asset loss during the rest of the game.
Yeah, I just think stand firm. I mean, it's good for other reasons as well, but I just think it's a bit of a it puts people off blitzing him, because obviously if they don't get him down, and the thing is you don't want to tie loads of players trying to get a piece down as well. So I think he's really good. It's unfortunate that number 3 there, the Alpha One, is now strength 3. That's a shame. I think personally I'd have stacked him by now, but
I kind of want to say one more thing about the Yeti before I go to that.
Sure.
Like the Yeti's pretty close to leveling up. I think Juggernaut would be an amazing skill up for that Yeti as well, because like he can blitz in, be a threat, and if some coach has a lot of wrestle players, he can totally destroy those wrestle players with Juggernaut.
Yeah.
So I really like that Yeti in general. As for number 3, it's kind of weird having a minus strength Ulverner there.
I'm just thinking, did that happen, last week, because to me it's just bloat now. He's got guard, he's got block, but all Norths come with block anyway. So the only thing he's got is guard and frenzy, but you can't keep him.
I think like with the amount of money he's having, like he has 140k in the bank, so that's plenty of cash. I think he will probably replace him. I think it happened last game. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing. He's probably done last game, but even if he didn't want to replace him, it's 150k, in inducements, isn't it? What he could do better with. But like I said, he's so close to getting to the playoffs, so it'll be interesting to see what he does with him. Number 9, what I call the dual threat. He obviously is a ball carrier, but he's also good in defense as well, because he's a blood side step tackle and diving tackle. So he does everything, does number 9. What a guy he is. I like him, but I always think sometimes, I mean, I do it as well. I do dual threats as well, but sometimes when you're ReBBL you're thinking, crikey, am I really, putting him in defense? Am I really speeding up his death? Because obviously he's going to be marking people up.
Well, with the blodge there, and with the sidestep being there, he kind of has control of where he's gonna be for follow-up blocks and that kind of thing. So he is pretty safe.
Yeah.
Even if he has to be set up against a ball carrier or that kind of thing, I would definitely attach him to a ball carrier whenever I get the chance, because of that diving tackle and his ball carrier not being able to move around anymore of the opponent, of course. So yeah, that's a really nice thing to have in general. I wouldn't worry that much about him getting injured or that kind of thing. Just use him as when necessary, and make sure you get the turnover that he needs to get.
I tell you what really baffled me was number 13, the Lama. The dead player gets extra armor. That was interesting. It's like, is this one of these coaches where his players never get sent off?
Well,
so he needs extra armor, but
here's the thing, isn't it? Like, I don't mind getting plus armor on players sometimes, but you already gave him dirty players, so like you already have something to remove him off the field.
Yeah.
Why the hell would you go plus armor with him?
See, I would have thought Fend would have been a good choice because like Ulfa's got Fend, and I like Fend on nose blockers. So if he's their player and someone knocks him down and he doesn't get splattered, then obviously they can't follow up. So unless they're going to bring another guy to tag him, he can then get up and go where he needs to stand.
Well, even if you think about if he really wants to stat up, just get plus movement because he can be on a longer range to foul something. You know, you don't have to be like 6 squares away. You can be 7 squares away from something to foul. So even then, you have more value out of it than getting the plus armor. So I totally don't get that skill up personally.
But it'd be interesting to see how he does though, because like I say, he has now got a bit of momentum. He's trying to catch the playoff teams, and yeah, can't wait to see what he does. Now we go on to the Imperishable 4, the Khemri team. And well, the Tomb Guardians aren't doing very well, to be honest. They're all a bit brand new, really, apart from one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's looking like a bit of a fresh team when you just look at the Tomb Guardians, but the Blitzras are quite developed. So, don't know what to think about it really. Like, I think with the Blitzras already being this developed and moving forward this far, you kind of want to get guard on the other Tomb Guardians as well, just to make them supportive.
Yeah.
So I don't think we'll see a lot of development from those Tomb Guardians anyway during quite some games.
Yeah, and that's it. It's a shame because, like I say, his throw-rows are decent, his blitz are good as well. So you know, and like I say, his skeleton's got dirty player and he's got block. I like that. It's just his Tomb Guardians. I mean, we don't. I'm guessing he must have lost a few of these. I don't think he after all these games. I mean, he's played plenty of games. What's he got? 34 games. His Tomb Guardians will be like this, so he's obviously lost them, unfortunately. And DK, never a good combination when you get hit by Mighty Blow and Claw, either.
Yeah, he could have lost him definitely, but like I said, it doesn't.
Go on, sorry.
Yeah, like I said, at this point you got to think about, well, how am I gonna get the most utility out of those players, and just focusing on guard, like I said, is an option. I think the Blitzras are the total stars of this team.
Yeah.
So they basically have to focus on leveling them. Make sure they get as powerful as possible and get in there with the dirty players to remove as well. But yeah, the Tomb Guardians, I would just, like I said, I would just keep them as support players, kinda. It feels weird to say that, but
I mean, I would. My plan with this team is look in the transfer market and try and get yourself a decent developed Guardian, even if he's got a couple of skills. Doesn't have to be fancy, just something to help complement your Blitzras and your Throwers, and then hopefully next season you won't run into as much Claw, or your Tomb Guardians won't just disappear into dust. Hopefully, but yeah, it's unfortunate because, like I say, your 4 Tomb Guardians supposed to be the bedrock of the team, and like I say, it's the Blitzras what are carrying the team. That's the influence we get, and then obviously his 2 Throwers, both Agility 3, very nice, you know. So if he can get a bit more development, and he could maybe get a Tomb Guardian in the market, I think that would significantly boost this team. But again, I'm just guessing he must have lost a few of these poor big tall dudes.
Yeah, totally. And in the meantime, just fall away and hope you can win those games that way.
Yeah. Right then, Badlands Fairies, who will be cock-a-hoop that they survived Team Fantastic last week, getting a valuable draw. Unfortunately, though, the gingerbread man is breaking. He is crumbling to pieces.
Oh,
he has got 2 damaged niggle backs, and he's got a serious concussion. So, he's really been going through the wars. He's missing next week. And, oh man, he needs some sticky tape pretty quickly.
Oh man!
If
he dies on this team, he can actually move on to the Cripple Cup. That player, that's just
Oh
That's
yeah,
just amazing.
he would fit in well there, wouldn't he?
Jesus.
He's gone through the wars, but he's one of the enforcers. But unfortunately, he got took out last week by the evil Team Fantastic. But Gebetto did all right. He was the star of the show from last week. So he gets his chance to shine now. The gingerbread man has to have a week off, so he can come out of his shadow and hopefully do well. And
Yeah. Well, the first thing that I see is that he focused a lot of guard on the early level ups.
big fan of that. Big fan
Yeah,
of him.
definitely. I do feel I would have taken like early on a mighty blow extra, instead of one guard. But that's just personal preference, probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, of course it helps in those big bashy matchups versus Chaos versus Dwarves versus Chaos Dwarves.
Yeah.
Any of those, it's gonna help to keep your team alive and keep your team going. So yeah, he's obviously doing well with it, seeing as he do against Jimmy, and yeah, I don't know. It's like, again, it's not really like there's really strong players on this team, but it's like something like a textbook of how you develop orcs. It looks like a well-developed orc
I
team.
really, really love this team. I just love what he's done. Block, guard, stand firm. Perfect staple diet for Black Orcs. And like I say, he's got Strength 5 Black Orc as well. He's got Hansel, who reminds me of Zoolander, where they go, that Hansel is so hot right now. So I love him. He's a Bloodshed with guard. He's got another guard on another armor. I mean, he's got so much guard, and I love to see this on Orcs. I mean, how many has he got? 6, 7? He's got 10 usual guard, so 9 next week. So he dominates. He should be dominating that middle. He should be dominating anywhere he goes with all that power. Oh man, I would love to have this team. I feel like kidnapping Powood. We'll hide him somewhere and we'll play this team for the next 4 weeks because I love it. I love this team. This would be the team I would have so much joy playing, and he's done a really, really good job. Shame about the gingerbread man, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles.
Well, yeah, you can't keep everything alive in this kind of game.
Unfortunately, but I love it. I love this team, and oh man, I wish this was my team. That's all I've got to say.
The orc thrower with leader and already completely built out as well. Like, some people are quite against the orc thrower, but like I kind of like it as well, just for the leader purposes. It already saves a little bit of team value, So yeah, it's definitely like you say, it's an orc team you want to play. As a coach.
I presume when the Frog Prince, the troll, gets his first level up, he's only 2 XP off away. He'll probably get guard as well, so he'll be able to carry 11 guard. But he's just insane, and I will be so jealous, and I'll be like, "Oh, Benny, why did you not go orc? You should have gone orc." I want this team. I want it. I really do.
I can totally imagine.
Oh, I do. I'm going to go off it because I'm getting jealous now. Let's go to the top of the tree. The Lizard Blizzards. Gman Rick is how I'm going to pronounce his name. I apologize if I pronounce it wrong. But
I kind of want to give a compliment to Gman Rick here, because like, if you look at the whole league, how it's come together, like, there's a lot of chaos teams, there's a lot of teams with claw and a lot of threats out there that hurt Lizardman teams, but he's on the top of the leaderboard. He's just standing there, and he's managed to create quite a gap. So it's quite amazing that he does that with a Lizardman team. In my opinion.
But as we'll come on to at the end of the show, he does play Jimmy's team this week. Top versus second. So
that's gonna
what will be left of this next week? Well, we saw Chuck Norris leading the way. Now for the Lizard Blizzards, it's Dwayne the Run Johnson's team. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. But this team, as it is, I've been very impressed the way this team has gone by. Everything. He's got that lovable agility force skin, but basically does what it wants when it wants on a 2+. He's got sure feet and sprint as well. Side steps. He can do 1-turners as well. Oh, it's a nice piece, I'll tell you that.
I call it a stunty gutter runner, basically.
Yeah.
With the skills he has, yeah, that's definitely a stunty gutter runner. So that one is looking amazing. And and like the Sauruses are quite well developed as well, and you can see some Lisbon teams where the Sauruses have trouble developing, but it's not happening in this case. They are developing well, so he should be quite happy about that. And well, yeah, he might be running against Jimmy's team like next game, but if he already survives against the other Chaos team, you're never sure what he will do versus Jimmy. So it's gonna be an interesting match for sure between those two.
Yeah, it's gonna be an amazing game for definite. I mean, like I say, he's got himself 4 guard there as well. Some nice stand firm, bit of break tackle. And like I said, as long as he can keep the lovable Morgan Runman alive, number 10, this team should go far. And yeah, I just think it's a nice team, and he's done really, really well. He really has done very well, and he's top. And like I say, if he can get a win against Jimmy this week, then he's just about stamped his ticket for the playoffs, hasn't he?
Yeah, definitely. Then it's well, there already has to be a small miracle happening to make sure he doesn't get into the playoffs, in my opinion. But if he wins or draws versus Jimmy, I can pretty much say
he'd be pretty much happy with that one. He's got the Magic Dome as well. Interesting. Obviously, he doesn't want his skinks becoming Butterfingers, so I can sort of understand that. So yeah, I like I say, well done. It's a very good team.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the last few matches of this team, and if it gets into the playoffs, I'm looking forward to checking him out in the playoffs as well.
Yeah,
definitely.
Victims of the Sun, Cybernite Bretonnians. So yeah, 1570. So it's not as developed as a lot of the other teams we've seen. But you know, any team coached by Cybernite is always going to be dangerous. His blitzers are there or thereabouts. You know, he's got a bit of mighty blow in there, blodge. His sure hand side stepper blitzers are a very nice piece. His blockers are getting there. So you know, and he's going to be getting inducements, and I hope he induces Griff when he can. Griff Oberwald, my best mate, Griff. But yeah, it's a decent team for the value.
Well, yeah, like if you look at the team and you compare it to the other teams in this league, you would say it's underdeveloped. But the truth of the matter is, like all the necessities, he has all the necessities that Bretonnian teams basically needs, you know.
Yeah.
So I would say like he should be very happy with the team being developed as it is, and with him coaching that team, it's gonna be difficult to beat him no matter what you're playing. So yeah, I think we can expect some nice results from him in the last few weeks.
Yeah, I like that. I'm a big fan of his, and like I said, the team does what he needs to do, and we'll obviously get stronger as they go along. Like I say, it'll be interesting to see how he does with them, because like I say, I'm a big fan of his, and it'll be good to see, I guess.
The only thing I see, and that's just nitpicking on skills really, is instead of going something like leader on one of the blitzers, I would have probably opted for that extra reroll at some point and gotten him Fent instead of that. But that's just personal preference. Like on the ball carrier, getting something like Fent is quite nice to have for his role in the team. But the rest is like, yeah, looking quite good. But again, he knows what he's doing as a Bretonnian coach.
Yeah, and like we said, he got a good draw against the Lizard Blizzard as well, didn't he? So that was a big point from there as well. So he's been very competitive against everyone he's faced this season. So you know, what doesn't surprise me at all. He's definitely a team to watch for the future for sure, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Will be interesting to see where he's going with it.
Right, we now move on to the monster. That is Team Fantastic, coached by Jimmy Fantastic, of course. 18, 10, and 30 that case below.
This is just insanity, isn't it? Like,
it's madness.
It's pure madness how this team has been developed. Like, Jimmy gotta teach me how to roll 12s, because like it's amazing how he gets 3 players with plus strength there. And they're all beastmen as well, so they're like one big army of 4 strength now.
I just don't know what to say. The thing is, I was looking at this team and I was like, oh my god, he's only 1810. I mean, obviously he's got 2 add another 60 on top of that, but then you're thinking you're taking 30 off for blow, so he's only extra 30 higher. So this team's rocking up at 1840.
And
for what he gets for 1840, it's bloody amazing.
it is amazing, and the thing that makes it even more amazing is like, well, we both know Jimmy, and Jimmy is one of the best positional coaches out there. Like, if you want to learn positional play, you gotta check him, because like he's one of the best out there to play positionally, and he constantly knows what he's doing under certain pressure. So him managing this team, it really is hard to imagine him getting beaten by other coaches with this team, you know.
Yeah, I mean, when I was obviously looking at these teams, I thought I penciled this team to be going up to maybe Division 1, and you know, I've seen obviously Bleeding Hippies team is Chorfs and Sage's Chaos, and I'm thinking, wow, this team could go up there and really mess them up and say, oi, we're the big dogs in this league now, move aside, you know, Team Fantastic are here. You know, because this team is good. I mean, as much as I love the York team, I wouldn't say no to this team either.
I'm gonna tell you, like, I haven't checked any of the other leagues, of course, and with the other teams that much. But when I look at this team,
yeah,
I think he's gonna reach at least the semi-final or the final of the playoffs if he gets into the playoffs. Like, if he gets there, he's gonna get really far.
It's one of those teams. If I was a coach and I didn't go far with this team, I'd be very upset with myself because I've had either horrific dicing or I made a mistake with the team. The only weakness this team has, and I'm nitpicking here, is we've seen a lot of the other teams who've got star ball carriers, you know, like an amazing ball carrier. This doesn't have a ball carrier.
Yeah,
that's
the only thing that definitely comes to mind. Like, I'm missing Sure Hands there, and he's probably, well, he might get a next level up on the tackler, or might get a next level up on the beastman without block, but he probably will get block on that one first. So it might take a little while before he actually gets one with Sure Hands. But other than that, it's looking amazing. And it's still, like, even if he doesn't have Sure Hands, how the fuck are you gonna reach his ball carrier? You know, like you're gonna have tons of troubles getting to his ball carrier with all those big strength players.
I'm just thinking of like agility teams and stuff like that, you know, with strip ball and these gutter runners where these Skaven coaches who are not scared of doing a red die, you know, and if they've got strip ball and he's got no show hands, it's like, you know, the ball's coming loose. I mean, personally, if I'm Jimmy, obviously it's like, hey, I'm Jimmy. I'm a god. Just give me your agility 4 player now. Come on, give me it. I'll buy him. I would be trying to ask people, look, if you got a nice agility 4 piece, can I have it, please? And you know, I'll be doing that.
As an agility coach, you kind of want to try to get the ball carrier that way, but even as an agility coach, as a Skaven coach, you gotta find ways to open things up. And if you have 7 4-strength pieces basing you, you're gonna have trouble opening things up, because then you have to do 2D uphill rolls, and the more 2D uphill rolls you do, the more trouble you get. Because those 2D uphill rolls are bound to have a score at some point, you know. So like, it's really difficult to really face this team in every way. Like, even if you're a Beshi coach, you're gonna have trouble. If you have an agility based team, you're gonna have trouble.
The scariest thing about this team is it's only going to get better, because a lot of these players are very they're like youths, aren't they? They're like youths, like babies in the team, because you know, you look at most of these have only got like 2-3 levels, so they've got plenty more room to develop. So it's only going to get dangerous and more dangerous, and you know, we could be looking at a potential ReBBL Championship team. If not this season, maybe the next season, the season after, unless it starts losing players. Because this team it's got a very solid foundation. And
if you look at this team, you're glad that the Blood Bowl 2016 rules aren't implemented yet, because you're very glad to have something like a wizard to be able to at least do something against this team, you know.
Yeah. It's an amazing team. It is. Or as Jimmy would say, it's a fantastic team. Man, I love this team. I'd love to have it. I really would. But we
Yeah,
can't. We'll just stick with my fat chorfs who don't injure anything. I'm not bitter at all. But yeah, if he don't make the playoffs, then I give in.
definitely. Semi-final or final. I'm telling you already. Like he's getting there.
I'd have to look at the teams, but this team should be going out of this division for definite. He should be the top 2 in this division. If it isn't, then there's something wrong.
Yeah.
But he's almost there. And finally, all rats must die. Well, they had a bit of a bad reversal last week, and they've lost one of their Storm Vermin.
I'm a bit offended by the team name there. That's.
I know.
I'm not happy about it, but he's doing actually quite alright in having a 12-man roster, so to speak.
Have you seen that pure filth number 6? Bought Witness. Pure filth. Movement 10, agility 5. Please.
It's looking quite nice, but if you think about it, like this is why I don't like to develop them with sprint and with movement up and with sure feet. This guy has to be on the field. Even in defense, he has to be on the field because he's such a value. If the ball gets popped loose, that he can just pick it up and run away as well with his high agility and with block being able there to protect him. Yeah. So if something happens to him, you also lose your one turner, of course, but it's an amazing player. So so to speak, with
the thing is like even the standard gut runners are still good one turners, aren't they? So, but he's just obviously the main guy, and obviously his TV value is extremely low as well. He comes across. I mean, what's that word they call it when they try and like TV efficient sort of thing? He seems like he wants to keep his TV as low as possible to get all the inducements. Min-maxing, that's the fella. There you go. And if you have a look at his club shop, he has the Nuffle Altar as well, so 50k cheaper for his star players. So I get a feeling this is a sneaky dirty rat who's using all the tricks of the trade to get everything in his favour, and I bloody love it because he's a rat. So of course he should be doing stuff like that.
Did you check his record, by the way? He has 22 wins versus 8 losses. So
he's good.
He's doing really well. But like I think the Nuffle Altar is actually a really good decision, even if he's not min-maxing, because like if you look at the higher divisions right now, he's always facing something with incredibly high TV.
Yeah.
So he does want to have those star players in, and even if he has a 12-player roster, it's not going to be a big deal, because if he faces something like Jimmy's team or another Chaos team, he can just get 2-star players in and try to counter that. So
it's smart how he's built the team up, and having that nice number 6 as well is always going to be good. His record is brilliant as well. It's one of the best records in the division, if not the best record.
It's a team that is developed from for the purpose of league play. Like definitely, I wouldn't do this in CCL, but in league play definitely. And it's something I can maybe learn something from.
Yeah.
So
I like I said, this is a very good team for what he gets, and he's got enough. He's very smart the way he's done it. Obviously, he's lost Execution of France, and he's lost his very good ball retrieving gut runner for next week. What's unfortunate, but apart from that, very good team. And like I say, his record coming into this season was probably better than anything else. In the league, so obviously he knows how to play rats. So you better be careful. You better keep your rat crown a bit, tight, because he might be going to try and pinch off you. You know what these rats are like. But
yeah. Well, this would be definitely one of the teams I would fear on there. But I would look forward to playing against this guy someday.
Well, it is. That's what you want to challenge yourself all the time, don't you? Right.
Yeah, definitely.
We come to the final part of the show, and this is where we get to curse some teams, and they start calling us, and we offend people by not picking them, but we have to do it, so we'll do it. Victims of the Sun, the Bretonians of Cyber Knight versus All Rats Must Die, the guy who's after your crown. Who wins that one?
Well, this is actually like a really important game for Zetterlin, so he's definitely going to try to go for the win, but it's going to be very difficult versus Cyber Knight.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be a draw.
I
have a feeling that it's going to be a draw because of being Cyber Knight being the coach that he is,
Yeah.
he's not going to give it away that easily.
He's not. I'm gonna go with the Rats just because they need the win more. We want it. We need it. So I'm gonna say they're gonna win with 2-1. He's probably gonna be able to induce a wizard or something. He'll score on his drive. He'll pop the ball carrier, pinch the balls, Rats do and score. And he's got the one-turner as well. So I think the sneaky Rat coach will come back from a shock loss last week, if we can call it a shock loss, and he'll get the win he needs 2-1. Team Fantastic versus the Lizard Blizzard. Top versus second.
This is one of those games where it typically all depends on the armor dice. So if Jimmy has a little bit of luck in the armor dice, I can see him win this quite easily. It sounds weird to say. It sounds weird to say that because the Lizard team is actually on the top of the list, but like looking at the matchup and knowing Jimmy a little bit, I think this is gonna go for Jimmy.
Yeah, it's a hard one, isn't it? I think Team Fantastic. I think the only hope the Lizard Blizzards have got is, like, say, if the armor rolls are counter them, but they do have that Agility 4 skink who will cause issues for Team Fantastic.
Oh, yeah, that might be a factor, of course. So that might make it closer than I made it sound.
Usually, when I see teams like this, a Chaos Kill team against a Lizard team, we end up with the Liz team having at least 6-7 players injured. So I'm in Team Fantastic, 2-0, 2-1, something like that. I just think he'll steamroll them. And like I said, the Saurus like, hey, we got 6 Strength 4 guys and a Strength 5 Crocs. And he's like, big deal, I've got 7 Strength 4 guys and we've got Claw. So really, Jimmy should get it done, I think. I think he'll get it as well. I think he could blow this playoffs wide open, because if he can niggle or get a few of these Lizards missing next game, that could let other teams in as well. So it'd be interesting to see how the Lizards coach plays this. He might be thinking, you know what, I don't need to win. I might try and protect a few more players. I don't know how he's going to do it, but
if Saitalen wins his game, no matter what kind of result will be made between Team Fantastic and
the Lizard Blizzard.
The Lizard Blizzard coach. It's gonna be a win for Saitalen for sure, because like if either one of those loses, he just catches up on them, and he can definitely still get that playoff spot.
Yeah, he's got to win though. He had his loss last week. He's got to win this week. He's got to somehow beat them bloody peasants and them bloody shiny knights. He's got to get it done. Because if he loses this week, that's it. I think it's
all or nothing now, basically.
Yeah. Philbo's fighting Fist. We know they were playing, so Badlands wins that one. Now then, Whiskey Galore, the Chaos, and the poor old Imperishable 4. That's the Khemri. Galore will have a lovely time in this game. I think they'll rip the poor Khemri to shreds, and I think it'll be the Khemri what will need the whiskey after this match. I can see. I don't think it'll be a high-scoring game, but I can see Whiskey Galore having the way with these poor Khemri. And I'm quietly confident Whiskey will get this done.
Yeah, it's. I can only agree with you there. It's very hard to play Khemri against Chaos, and at least well-developed Chaos anyway. So it's going to be quite tough to keep his players alive. But who knows? Maybe the regeneration does a thing in the game, and the Chaos actually gets smacked. It can always happen. Like,
it can.
So I don't know. I think the advantage is for Whiskey Galore, but who knows? It could turn around that way.
Fair enough. Ratskin Cracker Wreckers versus Tall Dwarfs with no AV. Similar to the All Rats Must Die, the Norse need the win. They want the win. They have to have the win, so they get the win. 2-1. That's all I've got to say on it. And I guess he might eat a few more rats.
Well, if I think about the matchup, like classically, if I have to play against Norse on low team value, I always worry about them. Like they're huge threats on low team value, but the higher the team value gets, in my experience, the lesser of a threat they become. And these guys are at pretty high team value, so I kind of gotta give it to the on the Reds on that thought. But who knows? Maybe the Norse get to receive, and they can get some linemen off early on, and you get that kind of game again, you know.
Yeah.
So kind of depends on what the Norse can do early on.
You never can count out Rats ever, but I'm just going by now. If you want the playoffs, you should be where the Rats might be thinking about next season and trying to get some levels or doing some stuff they not usually do. Where to me the North should be like, right, we've got to win this. We've got to throw everything out, even the kitchen sink out this game to win. And that's why I'm more for North winning more than the Rats.
That it makes some sense thinking that way, of course, but you don't know. Maybe the red coach is one of those guys that is like, okay, just you wait. I've lost enough now. Now I'm gonna fuck everyone over, and then he's gonna try to win every game he plays in the next few weeks. So you don't know how his mindset is at that point, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, like pure ratio matchup and pure looking at the teams, I still favor the Reds a little bit, but it could go to the Norse in the way you said it just now. It's always hard to see which team is going to be the most besty with those kind of matchups. Like
and that's a good thing about this week, hasn't it? In all the games, we're thinking, well, he could win or he could win. This is what you want, don't you? Where it's going to be one or two little things what's going to probably decide the match. And like I said, this could go either way. Like I say, you go with your Rats, I'll go with it. I'll go with the Norse with the, And then Tuzuko Chorfs versus Mad Commandos. I'm going to give this to the Commandos because I feel so sorry for them after that double 1 GFI. I think the ball carrier redeems himself this week and bags himself a double and gets his level up.
You don't want to give this to your racial friend, the Chors?
Why? They're my enemy. I don't care about the Chuffs. I'm not like you, being nice to people. Them Chuffs can all die. I'd rather be friends with them loads of Mighty Blown Claw people, and then maybe they'll feel sorry for me if they're killing me.
No sympathy whatsoever. For
them Chuffs. No sympathy. No sympathy at all. The Commandos get it done. And like I say, a double for the guy who decided to fall over and cost him a draw last week. So it could be 2-0, 3-1, something like that. But I think this is the week the Neg will make their coach happy.
Yeah, he probably needs a solid game like that to forget about what happened this week. I totally. Just for that kind of sympathy, I totally wish he wins that game, of course. Realistically, I also think he has an advantage over the Chors a little bit.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
So
we'll save the best to last. Chuck Norris versus Firestars. Who wins that one?
6-0 for Chuck Norris. Yeah. So that's gonna be for sure. Nah, seriously.
If that happens now and he wins 6-0.
Well, like the Firestars team.
They did well last week, didn't they? They got a good result last week. Did the fight? It was against All Rats Mistake, so they're on a crest of a wave. They're on the podium, and Nuffle's just about to knock them off it probably. Chuck Norris.
Put a bunch of loners on one team and put a bunch of well-developed players on the other, and who's gonna win? It's pretty clear, isn't it? We don't have to really think about it that much. So I do think the Chaos win this, of course.
Yeah. I'm really trying to find anything to go on the Chuck Norris train at the moment. I really am. I really want to be on the Chuck Norris team. I am. I'm going to say the Hollywood. Sorry, I'm not going to call them that. The Chuck Norris team are going to shock the Firestars and win this. He will live. He will hopefully live through it and get himself a level up.
I do think that team needs to earn a reward for it, having this original kind of team where only Chuck Norris is there and having all the SPP on him. It's
best player in the comp, isn't it, Chuck Norris? I'm going to go on the Chuck Norris train. I'm going to go against all normality here and say Chuck Norris gets it done.
If you have to invite one of the coaches for the recap, you don't invite the Kislev coach. You invite Chuck Norris instead.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm not going to upset Chuck Norris. No way. No chance. So there you go. We've all tipped. We've gone through all of it. Like I say, it was a bit longer this week, because obviously we've just been thrown this division and we're just trying to get ourselves a bit acclimatized to this.
Exactly.
So hopefully next week won't be as long. But I must thank Lorat King, who has been with me. So we've both been able to get it done together.
I've really enjoyed that, Bernie, and I hope everyone enjoys it there as well.
Yeah, hopefully so.
But and we'll see what happens next week.
We will, and see if our tips were actually right for once. That'll be quite good.
Definitely.
But thank you very much, and
you're welcome.
Great to be here, and hopefully next week we'll have as much more fun. And good luck to everybody in Season 10 Division of G-Man. Go out there, score some touchdowns, don't fail double JFRs, don't kill Chuck Norris, and kill everyone else. Thanks very much, take care, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.